The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has declared 4 seats vacant. The Agona West, Amenfi Central and Suhum seats were vacated because the members of Parliament decided to run as independent candidates in the 2024 polls, which goes against the Constitution, standing orders and precedents. On the other hand, the Fomena seat was vacated after Andrew Esiama Amwako, the independent candidate, chose to run on the New Patriotic Party NPP ticket instead. ChannelOne News' Niayikwe Okain has more in the following report.
Following a petition to the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, by the minority group on Tuesday in demand for the declaration of 4 seats vacant due to a decision by 3 MPs, i.e. the Agona West, Amenfi Central and the Suhum MPs, to contest as independent candidates in the December general elections, as well as the Fomena MP's decision to contest on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party in the upcoming polls. The Speaker, Alban Bagbin, on Thursday delivered a ruling by declaring the seats vacant in accordance with the standing orders, the Constitution, and on the premise of precedents.
I proceed to inform the House that by the notification of the polls, the following members of Parliament have by their actions vacated their seats in Parliament. The members are Honorable Peter Yao Kwashi Aka, NDC MP for Amenfi Central in the Western Region, now referred to as an independent parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. 2, Honorable Andrew Amwako Asiama, independent member for Fomena constituency in Ashanti region, now referred to as MPP parliamentary candidate for the constituency. 3, Honorable Kojo Asante, MPP MP for Suhum in the Eastern region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. And finally, Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, MPP MP for Agona West constituency in the Central region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this House any longer.
The Majority Leader, Alexander Apenya-Marken, had filed a writ at the Supreme Court seeking an injunction against the petition. Now, he staged a walkout after the ruling by the Speaker, together with members of the majority group. And he says that until the determination of the case by the Supreme Court, the majority group is boycotting Parliament.
We believe in the law. We, as the majority caucus, immediately are boycotting Parliament until this matter is determined by the Supreme Court. The Speaker has no right to interpret the Constitution, and it is so clear that what he did was to give advantage to the NDC and do the bidding of the NDC.
The minority group says that it will take steps as soon as possible to ensure that it takes over the helm of affairs as the majority group beginning next week, Tuesday.
We are here to do the business of the people of Ghana. We are here to begin the process to reset our country. Our country has gone through very difficult times. In fact, oftentimes, the people of Ghana have blamed Parliament for not standing up for the people of Ghana. But obviously, you can't blame the NDC minority because we were not having the working majority. Today, we have the working majority, and we'll begin the process to reset our country. We want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that the NDC majority will stand for the people of Ghana any day, any time. We will begin the process to move to the majority side and elect a new second deputy speaker on Tuesday.
The minority side of the House has assured that once it takes over the helm of affairs as the majority group from next week, it will ensure that all its activities are geared towards the interest of the public. Reporting for ChannelOne News from Parliament, my name is Ni Ayukwe Okine.
Well, let's stay a little longer on this matter as we have been joined in studio by the now First Deputy Majority Whip, Ahmed Ibrahim, to give us an understanding on what transpired in Parliament. Let me start off by congratulating you.
Thank you.
And of course, you're welcome. Quickly, let's get into it. What do you make of the wording of the Speaker's ruling?
Clearly, let me say a very good evening to your cherished viewers. This is my most watched
Oh, wow. Thank you.
show. I always watch you. So thanks for the opportunity.
Grateful.
Clearly, what has happened today, as if by coincidence, you know, this is the fourth time such an incident happened. It happened in the third Parliament of the Fourth Republic, when Speaker Peter Lajete was the then Speaker.
Yeah.
It happened when President Kufuor was the President of the Republic. Unfortunately or coincidentally, the same constituency, Amenfi Central, was at the center of the matter.
Yeah.
And today, it is the same Amenfi Central that is at the center of the matter. When the then Abraham Kofi Asante was the Member of Parliament for Amenfi Central, in Parliament, he shifted from the NDC. He came to Parliament on the ticket of the NDC. When he came to Parliament, in Parliament, he left NDC and joined MPP. Then, based on that, Alban Bagbin was the then minority leader. He raised the attention of the Speaker that once Abraham Kofi Asante from Amenfi Central have changed political party within that Parliament, he ceased to be the Member of Parliament. Therefore, Kofi Asante was sacked, and there was election, a by-election, which brought Mr. Honorable John Jetia. Then, in the same Parliament, in 2005, during President Kufuor, under the then President Sechi Hughes, the same thing happened. Speaker Sechi Hughes. The same thing happened in Tamale Central, when Professor Wayesini, who was voted on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress, came to Parliament and said he had seen the light. He left NDC and joined MPP.
Right.
Bagbin was the then minority leader. He brought it to the attention of Speaker Hughes and he said they needed to go for by-election. Then they went for by-election in Tamale Central. That brought Inu Stafusini to Parliament.
Right.
Then the same thing happened in 2020 under President Nana Akufo-Addo, when the MPP Member of Parliament, Honorable Andy Asiama, who is at the center of the controversy today, came to Parliament on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. Then he left the New Patriotic Party and contested on the ticket of the New as an independent. Then the then Speaker of Parliament, Speaker Makokwe, said, received a letter from the New Patriotic Party that by virtue of the fact that Andy Asiama has forfeited his party and contested as an independent party, he has ceased to be a Member of Parliament, and therefore could not be allowed to. So Okwe also sacked him. And these are the three cases that Parliament...
So that's precedent.
So today, Speaker Bagbin didn't mince words. He said the condition in that provision, Article 97, 1G and H, are in the Constitution to protect MPs' loyalty to their constituent.
Exactly.
Therefore, when you come to Parliament and your status change, it means you can't represent the people who brought you there, and therefore you cease to be a Member of Parliament.
Based on the examples you've given, and especially the last one regarding the former second deputy speaker, Andy Isiama, what do you make of the reaction by the majority, which now, of course, will become the minority?
Yeah. When we talk of majority-minority, it is not a status, it's just a matter of norms.
Exactly.
By virtue of forfeiture of their mandate, now NDC has 136, MPP has 135.
Right.
So 136 and 135, which side is the majority? It's 135,
right.
136. So they, by virtue of decline in their numbers, they are now the new minority, and we are now the new majority. This is not the making of anybody. And coincidentally, the forfeiture happened on both parties. So you cannot blame Speaker Bagwin of bias.
Right.
He was a member of the NDC. One MP is a member of the NDC, and that's Honorable Kwachiaka. And he didn't sack MPP people and left the NDC one.
Right.
He said, by law, we must protect the constitution and we must protect our democracy. And there is precedence. When it happened in 2020, the then Speaker of Parliament, Okoye, sacked his own MP. So I don't see why we should be arguing and belaboring this. So clearly, what is ahead of us? We have 50 days to elections. And within the 50 days, the major task ahead of us, and if the new minority leader, Fenyo Makin, is not aware, he has to come, and the new finance minister has to prepare a vote on account. We are going to election in 50 days' time.
Right.
So he has no time to say that he's waiting for Supreme Court to come with interpretation before they will bucket Parliament on the day. Ghana will not wait for them. We have 50 days to election. We have 3 weeks to work in Parliament. Within these 3 weeks, he should accept his status as a minority leader, go and is a minority leader and leader of government business.
Right.
Atufosi is a majority leader and leader of the
caucus.
Now there's no majority group, minority group. Leader of the majority caucus.
Right.
But Afenyo Makin still remains leader of government business and minority leader by virtue of the numbers.
Right. Is there any tradition that will happen, especially regarding the sides that you sit on?
What he needs to do is that democracy is a game of dialogue. He should leave that posture. We are boycotting. Who told you Ghana is for him? Ghana will not wait for you.
I said that.
No, Ghana will not wait for you. We have 50 days, and within that, constitutionally, we must approve a budget which we call vote on account. So that whoever wins the 2024 election will now come and prepare the new budget for 2024 in March 2025. But the money that will be used to pay Ghanaian workers' salaries must be approved by this current parliament within these 3 weeks. Right. And we call it vote on account. So we cannot use the 3 weeks to be in the Supreme Court. Accept it. You are leader of government business. Even today, I was ashamed for myself. They were serving and we were about 90-something. And how can 7 people say they are majority and 97 is minority? How can that be? Be serious with government business. Ghanaians gave you majority. God gave you majority. But you were abusing it. And God has taken it from you and given it to NDC. So clearly, we are ready. We are the new majority. We understand the work ahead of us. We must approve the vote on account so that general Ghanaian workers' salaries will be paid. February, it will be paid. March, it will be paid. And that within that transitional period, whoever wins the 2024 elections will use March to present the new budget for 2024.
Right.
So time is of essence, and we must not be arguing over this.
With knowledge of the Afenyo Makin in the Supreme Court seeking an injunction, has the Speaker not acted in contempt of...
No, the Speaker was categorical. He said, look, there is precedence. And he based it on law. That interpretation of the standing orders lies within his bosom.
Right.
And by our standing orders, when you forfeit, when you change your status, in order to contest an election in the next parliament, whether in the next parliament or not, there's a notice of poll. And their chairman is now saying that he's no more a member of, he's no more an independent member. He's now a member of the MPP. MPP people presented a candidate in Formina in 2020. Formina people said they didn't want an MPP MP. They needed an independent person. That's why they voted for you. Right. So if today you say you are joining the MPP, it means you can't represent them. Exactly. That's what Bagwin is saying. Cynthia Morrison was voted for MPP. Now he's saying he's no more a member of the MPP. The people of Swedro wants a member MPP person to represent them. So if you are not a member of MPP, it means you can't represent them. That is what Bagwin is saying. That Article 97, 1G and 1H were brought there to protect loyalty to your constituent and loyalty to political parties. And therefore, we must safeguard and protect it. It's as simple as that. You don't need a Harvard lecturer to explain this to you.
Very well, very well. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you,
and
brother.
we wish you well. We'll still stay on this matter and speak to the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Rahman, on what his thoughts are so far. Thank you so much for joining us, and give us your own observation of what transpired in Parliament today, specifically on the ruling delivered by the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, regarding the petition brought forth by the minority, demanding that these 4 seats be declared vacant.
Thanks for having me. I think the very day I heard this, I was of the view that it was going to be very difficult to have any outcome other than what we had this evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Yes, I was saying that my thoughts are that when this news first broke at the beginning of the week, I didn't know if there was going to be any other outcome apart from what we had this evening. Because when speakers rule, then their rulings are based on 3 key things. First of all, precedence. Second, the Constitution. And third, the standing orders. And for me, we are still operating with the 1992 Constitution, and that provision that got the Formula seat declared vacant 4 years ago has not changed. The only difference is that in that particular instance, the party wrote to the Right Honourable Speaker requesting. This time we didn't have that because the 8th Parliament is not the 7th Parliament. The portrait of the 8th Parliament completely different.
Right.
And if the MPP did that, that would have amounted to suicide. And I think that not many people or organizations would like to commit suicide. So they didn't do that, and that's the only difference between now and then.
Right.
Aside that, I think that the constitutional provisions, in my view, those provisions are very clear. And Honorable Dafiamoko 2 days ago drove that home very vividly when he argued in the case of the Right Honourable Dua Jaho, when he was elected Speaker of Parliament, he automatically vacated his seat. And so he argued about the automaticity of some of these provisions.
Right.
And I think that it applies in this case. I mean, having said that, it's not pleasant news for everybody. I mean, certainly, if you saw the reaction of the MPP, I mean, the walkout.
Yes, I was going to come to what you make of the conduct of the MPP side. Of course, following on the history that same petition was filed by the NPP in 2020. And so if same is happening today, the conduct today, especially regarding the walkout from Parliament, what you make of it?
Walkouts are normal. I mean, in parliamentary democracy, and I believe that certainly that side is aggrieved by the ruling. But what I can say is that I think the right thing is what their leader has said they have done. They will seek the interpretation of the court. So let the court come and let's hear from the court. But I have also heard them say they are going to vote on. I don't. That might be in the interest of this country, especially at a time when we are preparing for election. When the Right Honourable ruled on January 15, 2021, that their side was the majority, the other side was aggrieved. I mean, the other side was aggrieved, but I think they came into the House, took their seats, and the business of our country continued. So I just appeal for cool for us to continue Supreme Court makes a pronouncement. And then everybody should then ensure that whatever the finality from the court is what we all will live by, and I think it will improve our democracy.
Right. Right. Very well, Doc. Thank you so much. We'll have to leave it here, but thank you so much for speaking to us. Dr. Rashid Dramani is the Executive Director of the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs.